Welcome back to Superbly Said, Advanced English Vocabulary and Phrases.
And today, all of our material is coming straight from a SpeakDuo lesson.
That's right. So if you want to put these phrases into practice, you can head over to SpeakDuo.com. You can meet people from all over the world, have video calls, and really build that speaking confidence.
Okay, so let's just jump straight in.
Let's get into it. First up is the phrase to brush up on. So the source material defines this as improving a skill that you learned in the past but have kind of forgotten.
Right, like the classic example is always, I need to brush up on my Spanish before my trip to Madrid.
Exactly, but let me ask you this. Why not just say, I need to study, or tell your boss, I need to learn the new regulations? What's the difference?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's a trap. If you say, I need to learn something, especially at work,
Right.
you're basically admitting you have zero knowledge. You're starting from scratch.
But saying you need to brush up on something, that implies the foundation is already there.
Exactly. It's more about reputation management, really. To learn from scratch is like you're building a whole new house.
Whereas to brush up on is just dusting the furniture.
Perfect analogy. It suggests you're already competent, just maybe a little rusty.
So let's paint a picture. There's a big audit coming up at work next week. Everyone's a bit tense. If you go to your manager and say, I need to learn the compliance rules, they might start to panic.
For sure. They'll think you're unqualified. But instead, you can just say, I just need to quickly brush up on the latest updates to the compliance code.
And that just lands so differently, doesn't it? It signals confidence.
It says, I'm a pro, I've got this, I just need a quick refresh.
Okay, so what about, say, an IELTS speaking test? Part 2, maybe they ask you to describe a hobby you'd like to pick up again.
Yeah, this is a great one for that. Instead of saying, the very flat, I want to play piano again, you'd say, I used to play the piano as a child. I'd love to brush up on it now that I have a bit more free time. It just adds so much depth and history in one short phrase.
It really does. Okay, so moving from skills to, annoyances. The next phrase is a pet peeve.
A classic. So the definition is a specific thing that really, really annoys you.
But I've always found that word pet a little strange. Why is it a pet?
Well, that's the whole nuance of it. Think about a pet. You feed it, you care for it, it's yours.
So a pet peeve is an annoyance that you sort of...
Nurture.
Exactly. It's subjective. It's probably minor to most people, but it's major to you. It's not a huge moral grievance.
Right, so saying, I hate injustice is not a pet peeve.
No, that's a moral stance. But if you hate, say, the sound of someone chewing loudly...
That is a perfect pet peeve.
Yeah, let's think about the workplace. The break room is usually ground zero for these things.
Oh, absolutely.
So you're making coffee, and you wouldn't say to a coworker, I am filing a formal complaint about people hitting reply all.
No, that's way too heavy. You'd sound crazy. Exactly. Instead, you just, roll your eyes and say, ugh, my biggest pet peeve is when people reply all to a company-wide email just to say thanks.
It keeps it light. It's a personal quirk, not a formal accusation. What about for the IELTS test? Maybe describing a difficult situation?
Oh, it's perfect for showing personality. It is a real pet peeve of mine when the bus runs late without any announcement.
It's just so much more precise than saying, I don't like it.
Right. Now, when people have too many pet peeves, they can sometimes start to feel they're better than everyone else.
Which brings us perfectly to our next one, to look down on.
This one feels, it's a bit nasty.
It is. The definition is simply to think that you are better than someone else.
But we need to distinguish this from simply disapproving of something, right?
Yeah, that's a key point. If I disapprove of your choice to, say, quit your job without a plan, am I looking down on you?
Probably not. Disapprove is usually about an action, a choice. To look down on is about the person's status, their worth.
It's vertical. That's the image. You're up here and they're down there. It implies arrogance.
Yeah, a real sense of superiority. So let's apply this. Maybe you're in a meeting discussing company culture.
And you're talking about a manager who's not performing well.
You could say, the problem is he looks down on the junior staff. And wow, that is a powerful critique.
It's so much more than he isn't nice. It suggests he doesn't value them as people. It attacks his character as a leader.
Right. And for an IELTS answer, maybe describing a person you admire, you can flip it.
Oh, good idea.
What I respect most about her is that despite her incredible success, she never looks down on anyone, no matter their job title.
That speaks volumes. It highlights humility. Now, people who look down on others often want total control.
Which brings us to someone with absolutely zero control. Our next phrase, a loose cannon.
I love the image this one creates. You know, a cannon on an old ship, breaking its ropes and just...
Smashing into everything. Total chaos.
The source defines it as an unpredictable person who might cause trouble at any moment. But isn't that sometimes a good thing, like a maverick or a risk taker?
That is the critical distinction. A maverick might break the rules, but it's usually to get a good result. They're unconventional, but often successful. A loose cannon is just dangerous. Right. The key idea is collateral damage. A loose cannon hurts their own team. They lack control.
Okay, let's set up a scenario. There's a sales guy. Let's call him John. He's great at closing deals, but he's also known for making really inappropriate jokes.
Okay, I know this guy.
And the CEO says, should we let John lead the big press conference?
And you have to warn the CEO without, getting John fired.
Exactly. You'd say, look, John is a fantastic closer, but he's a bit of a loose cannon. Putting him in front of a live microphone could be risky.
It frames him as a liability in that specific context. You're not saying he's a bad person. You're saying he's unpredictable, unsafe. And for an IELTS answer, maybe describing a character from a movie?
Oh, yeah.
Vivid picture.
It really does. So how do you manage a loose cannon? You need everyone else to be on the same page.
Which leads us to see eye to eye.
This means to agree fully with someone. But is it just a synonym for compromise?
I would argue they're almost opposites in a way.
Oh, interesting. Go on.
Well, a compromise feels transactional. I give something up, you give something up, we meet in the middle. Maybe we're both a little unhappy.
Right.
But seeing eye to eye, that feels different. It means our perspectives have actually aligned. We're looking at the problem from the exact same viewpoint.
Yes, it's a total agreement. Imagine the marketing and engineering teams at a tech company.
They're famous for not getting along.
Exactly. So if you're debriefing your boss after a big meeting and you say, amazingly, the two teams finally saw eye to eye on the launch date.
That suggests a miracle has happened. The conflict is gone. They don't just tolerate the plan, they both believe in it.
And for an IELTS context, describing a relationship?
You could use it to show complexity. My best friend and I are very close, even though we don't always see eye to eye on politics.
It shows maturity. You can have a strong bond without agreeing on everything.
So, everyone sees eye to eye, the plan is ready to go, and then panic.
Which brings us to our next phrase, to get cold feet.
Such a visceral idiom. It means to suddenly get too scared to do something you had planned. The timing is key here, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's all about the timing. You don't get cold feet 3 months before a big presentation.
No, you get cold feet right as you're about to walk on stage.
And it's different from just changing your mind. Changing your mind can be logical. It's starting to rain, so I've changed my mind about going for a walk.
That's a rational decision. Getting cold feet is purely emotional. It's fear taking over right at the last second.
Right. We've all been there. You're ready to do something, you've planned for it, but then the moment arrives and you're just paralyzed by nerves.
Let's take a business deal. The papers are on the table, ready to be signed.
And then the other company just goes silent. You explain it to your boss. The investors were all set to sign, but I think they got cold feet when the latest market report came out.
It implies a last-minute panic, not a thought-out strategy.
And for an IELTS answer describing a memorable moment, I almost got cold feet right before my graduation speech, but I took a deep breath and just walked out there. It adds so much drama.
It does. Now, cold feet happens right before something's scheduled, but our next phrase, it happens with no schedule at all.
Out of the blue.
Meaning something happens suddenly, completely unexpectedly.
But how is this really different from just saying surprisingly?
Well, surprisingly just describes the outcome of an event. The meeting went surprisingly well. We knew the meeting was happening.
Ah, I see. Out of the blue is about the origin of the event itself. It comes from nowhere, like from the clear blue sky. There was absolutely no warning.
Yes, If your top employee who has seemed perfectly happy walks in on a random Tuesday and quits.
That happened out of the blue.
Exactly. You'd say, I had no idea she was leaving. She just resigned out of the blue. It really emphasizes the shock.
That feeling of being totally blindsided. And for an IELTS answer about good news,
It would be perfect.
I received a job offer out of the blue from a company I'd forgotten I'd even applied to. It highlights that it was a complete and wonderful surprise.
Love that. Okay, our final phrase. After a shock, things eventually go back to normal. The effects of something wear off.
This one is so useful for describing processes. The definition is to gradually disappear or stop having an effect.
We hear it a lot with medicine, right? The painkiller starts to wear off.
Yes, but the nuance compared to the word stop is really important.
How so?
Stop is abrupt. It's binary. The music stopped. Wear off implies a gradual fade, like a battery slowly dying or a scent disappearing from a room.
I see. So let's think about a work situation. A company introduces some cool new software. At first, everyone is excited.
The honeymoon phase.
As a manager, you might say to your team, the initial novelty of this new tool will probably wear off in a couple of weeks, and that's when we need to focus on real productivity.
It shows you understand human nature. That initial excitement is temporary and will fade.
And for describing a physical feeling in an IELTS answer?
Perfect for that. The adrenaline from the start of the marathon began to wear off around the halfway point, and that's when I really felt how tired I was.
It captures that transition perfectly. Brilliant. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground.
From brushing up on skills to dealing with loose cannons.
And now it's time to put you, our listeners, to the test.
Let's see if you've grasped the nuance, not just the basic definitions.
All right, we have 8 questions. I'll read a scenario and 3 options, A, B, and C. I'll repeat the phrase to help lock it in. Feel free to pause if you need a moment to think.
Let's go.
Question 1. After years of focusing solely on management, Sarah realized she needed to brush up on her technical skills before the hackathon. What does this imply? Is it A, she intends to learn a completely new set of technical skills from scratch? B, she needs to refresh and improve a skill she previously possessed but neglected? Or C, she plans to casually review the basics without deep practical application? Think about that phrase, brush up on. Feel free to pause here if you need to think. The correct answer is B.
Right. She's not building a new house. She's just dusting the furniture. The skill's already there. It just needs a polish.
Question 2. Mark's biggest pet peeve is when colleagues leave their dirty dishes in the communal sink. This indicates that A, he considers this specific habit to be a specific and major source of irritation. B, he finds this specific behavior slightly amusing but generally tolerates it well. Or C, he views this action as a minor inconvenience that is easily overlooked daily. Think about the phrase, a pet peeve. Go ahead and pause if you need to. The answer here is A.
Yeah, it's not a minor thing to him. It's his pet annoyance. It's specific, and it's a major source of irritation for him personally.
Question 3. Although he is wealthy, the CEO tries not to look down on people who are struggling financially. This suggests he avoids A, ignoring their struggles while focusing entirely on his own financial success. B, regarding them with a sense of superiority because of their lower status. Or C, showing excessive pity that might cause them to feel embarrassed publicly. The phrase is to look down on. Take a moment to think. The answer is B.
It's all about that vertical relationship. He avoids feeling arrogant or superior just because of his financial status.
Question 4. The manager hesitated to invite John to the high-stakes client dinner because he is known as a loose cannon. This means John is A, reliably aggressive and consistently hostile during business negotiations, B, generally shy and likely to fail to contribute meaningfully to the conversation, or C, unpredictable and likely to behave in a way that causes sudden trouble. The phrase is a loose cannon. Feel free to pause. And the answer is C.
That's right. He's unpredictable. He might be great sometimes, but he's a risk because he can cause collateral damage at any moment.
Question 5. After hours of intense negotiation, the two parties finally saw eye to eye regarding the contract terms. This means A, they reached a state of mutual agreement on the essential details. B, they decided to overlook their significant disagreements to finish, or C, they acknowledged their different perspectives but refused to compromise. Think about what it means to see eye to eye. Pause if you'd like. The correct answer is A.
Yep. It's not a compromise, it's a genuine, total alignment of their perspectives. They agree.
Question 6. She planned to perform a solo at the concert, but got cold feet as she approached the stage. This implies A, she felt physically ill due to the sudden drop in temperature in the hall, B, she remained calm despite the intense pressure of the waiting audience, or C, she lost her courage at the very last moment and hesitated to proceed. The phrase is to get cold feet. Go ahead and pause. The answer is C.
It's that last-minute panic. The fear just took over right before the event was supposed to happen.
Question 7. The job offer came out of the blue, surprising everyone in the department. This means the offer A, was the result of months of careful planning and strategic networking. B, arose completely unexpectedly and without any prior warning or signs. Or C, was anticipated by the team but arrived slightly earlier than scheduled. What does it mean for something to come out of the blue? Pause if you need a moment. The answer is B.
It came from the clear blue sky. There was zero foreshadowing, zero warning. Just poof, there was.
And finally, question 8. The pain medication provided immediate relief, but the effects started to wear off after 4 hours. This indicates A, the medication's potency gradually diminished, causing the pain to return. B, the side effects became increasingly severe as the day went on. Or C, the drug began to interact negatively with other treatments she was taking. Think about the phrase to wear off. Go ahead and pause. The correct answer is A.
It's that gradual fade, like a battery slowly losing its charge. The effect just slowly diminished over time.
And that wraps up our quiz. If you nailed those, you're really starting to get the hang of this high-level nuance.
Absolutely. And remember, the real test isn't a quiz. It's using these phrases correctly in context. It's about knowing when to say you need to brush up on a skill without sounding incompetent.
Exactly. Visualize those workplace scenarios we talked about. And if you really want to put them to the test, head to SpeakDuo and try them out in a real conversation.
Keep practicing.
And we'll see you in the next critique.